In my independent campaign for president, liberals have been calling me a conservative, and conservatives have been calling me a liberal. This isn't just name calling. The confusion is genuine for many people, and maybe you yourself aren't sure what you are. I don't really think these categories are very useful anymore. My father was opposed by the liberal establishment when he ran for president in 1968, and so it's confusing even for me sometimes about how to label myself. But if I had to label myself, I would say that I'm a classic liberal or a Kennedy Democrat. So let me help you unravel what that all means, because I want you to vote for me or against me, not based upon the labels that people affix to me, but rather based on my position on the various issues. First, the classic liberal protects civil liberties from authoritarianism. For most of my life, it was the Republicans who sought to restrict freedom of speech and curtail other constitutional freedoms in the name of national security or law and order. For the last 10 years or so, it's been the Democrats who are restricting free speech and other constitutional rights. So who are the real liberals here? As president, I'm going to roll back the surveillance state and restore America as the land of liberty. Second, the classic liberal believes in free market capitalism, but understands that the need to protect the public from corporate excesses is also important. Without regulation and oversight, corporations cheat. They capture government agencies and they pervert free markets, transforming the system from free market capitalism into corporate crony capitalism, a system of this very cushy socialism for the rich and a merciless, barbaric capitalism for the poor. For example, they pollute the air and water and soil and leave the cost to the public. That's cheating. Or they infiltrate government and they write laws and regulations in their favor. In recent years, both political parties have failed to stop this undermining of our democracy by crooked industry lobbyists. As president, I'm going to level the playing field so that consumers and small businesses at last have a chance. I'm going to get corporate influence out of government once and for all. Third, a classic liberal sticks up for the little guy and the people who get left out. And the ranks of those who have been left out have been growing every year. As president, I'm going to reverse that trend and bring them back in. Fourth, and this might surprise you, a classic liberal favors a strong border. That's because uncontrolled immigration depresses wages, putting American workers in competition with an endless pool of easily exploited labor. As president, I'm going to bring order to the border. I'm going to end the humanitarian crisis there and allow the optimum level of lawful, orderly immigration into this country. The classic liberal maintains a healthy skepticism of the intelligence services and the war machine. The classic liberal seeks peace and pursues democracy. Recently, Democrats and Republicans have sought to outdo each other in their belligerence. As president, I'm going to keep us out of foreign conflicts and bring the resources home to rebuild our own country. Sixth, the classic liberal nurtures the future of our country. Robust health and economic opportunities for young Americans and the opportunity to get into a home will be my priority. Seventh, a classic liberal protects the environment. As president, I will return us to the traditional environmentalism that protects our wilderness, rebuilds soils, preserves our forests and rivers and endangered species and biodiversity. I'm going to get the toxic chemicals out of our food supply and our water as part of my drive to reduce the chronic disease epidemic in America. Eighth, classic liberalism recognizes that stable democracies require a strong middle class. Giant disparities in wealth between rich and poor create a configuration that is too unstable to support a constitutional republic. As president, I'm going to foster entrepreneurial ecosystems and prioritize Main Street over Wall Street and rebuild the American middle class. Finally, classic liberalism is about fairness. This economy has become extremely polarized as labor's share of the income has fallen steeply to the benefit of corporations and the super wealthy. As president, I'm going to raise the minimum wage, support labor, close tax loopholes for the super rich, cut housing costs, and increase support for women and children with free daycare and a stronger food stamp program. I love the fact that creative, industrious, hardworking people can get rich in our country, but we also have to take care of the less fortunate so that no child ever goes hungry in America. Call me liberal, call me a Kennedy Democrat, call me independent or conservative, whatever you want. I don't care. These are the things that I believe in, and that's where I stand. If you resonate with my vision for our country, then I invite you to stand with me. I invite you to be part of the reweaving of America. I invite you to join our coalition of liberals, conservatives, committed to taking this country back, not just for the left or right, but for the American people.